welcome back on into another episode of Two Fat Drunks. I'm JDV.
I'm War Pig.
He's War Pig. Gluttonous bag of fat, if you ask me, but he's the only host I can get to show up on a regular basis.
Hey, I'm here for Christ's sake.
Lucky me. Anyway, on this episode, we're going to talk about Clint Eastwood's masterpiece western, Unforgiven. Coming up next
On Two Fat Drunks.
Let's talk about July's wrapping up. Our last episode, we talked about how corporatism is basically killing the bottom line.
Box office.
It's killing the box office, and it's just making for a never-ending series of sequels.
Bad films.
That just aren't, even on big movies like Avengers, it's like, that's not a 5-star movie. Okay, so let's talk about someone who, even now, is still making great movies.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Let's talk about Clint.
And so Clint Eastwood made Unforgiven. Just an absolutely A-list cast, script that is fantastic. It's a movie that I'm going to just assume you've seen. If you haven't seen it,
If you haven't seen Unforgiven, stop
hit
the
pause,
tape.
go watch it, and come back.
Yeah. David Peoples wrote that, the writer of Blade Runner.
And
about the same time, actually, because that script is actually...
it was old.
Yeah, it was old.
Even in 92, it was old. Yeah, Clint
Yeah.
had bought it, I want to say 79, 78.
Yeah,
maybe.
he just sat on it.
And he sat on it until he aged into the part. He knew he was too young to play it when he bought it. And like the demon wizard that he is, he just waited and sat on it. And you were telling me, I didn't know this, they didn't change a word.
Yeah, he screened the film for David Peoples. And David Peoples wept because he kept every word of that script. Like,
Incredibly uncommon.
incredibly
They
uncommon,
never
because
have.
ordinarily they'll put colored sheets into a script to indicate where changes have been made. Unforgiven was a white script. It was all white.
Yeah,
they had not changed one word. It's just not done, and David Peoples could not believe
Well,
it.
screenwriters arguably are one of the most important people in the industry, and
And
yet they're the
simultaneously-
least respected
Yeah.
of them. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
the
they're
rewrite.
horrors. And just, you look at the movie,
Guys like Bill Goldman and Shane Black came to power because they were great
Incredible
rewrite guys.
screenwriter.
Phil
Shane Black,
Kaufman is a guy like that.
yeah.
The
Adaptation.
guy who wrote Empire Strikes Back.
Lawrence Kasdan.
Lawrence Kasdan
Yeah,
kind of came to
jeez.
fame
Yeah.
as a rewrite
Incredible
artist.
writers.
Um,
John Milius also.
a script doctor, I guess is what they
Right.
call him. And so to not mess with the script shows you a couple of things. But going back to our last episode, it shows that Clint's an artist. That he's,
You know what? He is.
that he's not going to like try to move things around
It's not arguable.
to fit the sensibilities of right then. I mean, like, no, this, I bought this. Let's shoot this and see how it goes. And it ended up being just an incredible movie.
And what's interesting is that, and multiple cast members of the film have mentioned this, and it's the fact that Clint Eastwood's directing style is very different from other directors, in as much as he really doesn't provide a lot of direction to the actors, because in his mind, I've cast you in this role. Your job is to interpret this role. My job is to shoot the film.
I think, guys like George Lucas are famous for it, whatever.
Right.
There are other directors I do think that have that reputation of,
Be more...
yeah, I hired you, learn the lines, and I expect you to do the rest. Like John Carpenter is a guy, like, hey, I hired you. Like, John Carpenter gives almost no direction to his actors.
He didn't tell Kurt Russell, hey, do Clint Eastwood.
Right.
He just said, no, just action. I mean,
So actually, I would say that Carpenter is, if you want to talk about another famous independent type director, who is very much like that, in that he does, if you need something, you can go to him, but he's cast you for
it's about the casting.
He's cast you for a very specific reason. It's almost, good casting in film is actually a lot like good casting in plays. In plays, sometimes you will only get cast because you're the right height. In film, you can hide the height differences between actors pretty easily.
Right.
And on stage, you can't. Whether or not there's any kind of real spark or chemistry, you can't fake that on stage.
Right. I mean,
and you can sort of fake it on film. At least filmmakers think they can. But
Tom
really,
Cruise has a career. He's shorter than Napoleon.
They're all short. Mel Gibson, I mean,
not that big of a guy.
I'm taller than Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I ain't a giant. No. You know, I mean, and he would be considered a very tall actor, right?
True. So that's true. He still is. It's on film.
Oh, he still is a tall actor compared to other actors. I mean, but Clint kind of has always had that kind of weird sensibility of, let's workshop this thing.
And he's never gotten. I mean, he's sort of gotten his due for that, but for the longest time, because of the nature of the films that he did. I mean, he started out in westerns, which is, I mean, it's a
Rowdy Yates, man.
It's a violent genre. Then he went on to do spaghetti westerns with Sergio Leone. Then he went on to.
Do you know what his first film was? First studio.
Oh shit! I feel like I should know this. Nope. Go ahead.
I'm gonna mangle the actual title, like not Attack of the 50-Foot Spider, but Attack of the Giant Spider.
Some kind of 50s style.
Tarantula.
Really? Interesting.
Which is a great 1950s. We're talking about
science exploitation.
It's got really effects that still hold up really well. But, a giant spider, and he plays a little fighter pilot that goes to try to kill the spider.
How cool is that? Yeah, that's pretty fun.
But it tells you he was in Tarantula, a movie from the mid 50s.
Right,
it's almost 2020.
Atomic Age.
Right, we're 70 years removed almost from
Clint
Tarantula.
Eastwood can still make films.
Still making not just films. But that are only seen at geriatric wards. No, The Mule made $100 million domestic. $100 million, and he spent probably $17.
And it makes him a rarity. I mean, it's a rarity.
It's him and Stallone.
He's a fucking unicorn.
All of our other heroes, Spielberg included, they're gone. Hmm? I love John Carpenter. When was the last time John Carpenter even saw a movie camera?
They won't let him do anything, man.
Yeah, but
he did Body Bags back in the 90s.
Dude, that was 20 years ago.
Show for what, Showtime or something like that?
I think he did The Ward as his last film.
Yeah,
and that
just not.
Yeah, but so
I love John.
So like Clint still has it, at least to some degree, but he probably did peak on Unforgiven.
Right, because Unforgiven itself is.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the script. We got into David Peoples. One of the interesting things about that script is for a big, huge chunk of that film, there is no violence.
No.
And there's almost no violence at all from Clint Eastwood's character.
Right, it's mostly him being sick.
He doesn't kill anyone until the last reel of the movie.
Well, he starts his killing with when he shot
That's true,
Danny Boy, remember? Because he took the rifle from Ned.
But that's still halfway through that film, at least.
No, yeah, it's getting towards the end because right after that,
give him some water, goddammit!
You ain't gonna shoot.
No, I ain't gonna shoot you.
That's a great scene.
And
got me, Danny Boy.
And that's some of the things that I think attracted critics to it. Maybe a little too much so, but its use of violence is not only spare, but it's right,
punctuated. Right? I mean, right where it should be, right where it does the most work.
And it's funny how you watch a lot of movies, or TV shows, or whatever, and there'd be guns all over them. Guns, shooting, everyone gets shot. And I think how little power most of those films have. But by the time that the real bloodshed, you have the beating of English Bob.
Well, the English Bob first.
By
Gene Hackman.
By the Hackman.
Right.
And you have the scene where they start to kill off the people they've been hired to kill.
Kill quick Mike in the shithouse.
But he didn't even do that. I mean, it was the
kid.
Guy,
the kid shot him, yeah.
Blind kid. And who's real good in that movie. I don't know. The
kid actually is really
good. But when the violence is there, it's fast, it's gritty, it's realistic, brutal. And then there are immediate real world consequences for it. Like, I never killed nobody, Will.
Right.
I ain't like you, Will. I can't kill women and children like you did for free.
It don't seem real.
Yeah, it don't.
And then he the line. Yeah, it's a hell of a thing to kill a man. You take everything he's got and everything he'll ever gonna have. And you're like, oh,
we all got it coming, kid.
Right.
Kid.
Well, I guess he had it coming. Shit, just that, dude. Those are lines. You're like,
it's why Eastwood was attracted to the project to start with. I'm guessing. What he didn't pick it just because he knew he was going to be in his 60s one day. No, he picked it because it's not an anti-Western. It's not kind of a response to the Western the way that Sergio Leone films are. Almost a parody of Westerns.
No, it's very respectful.
It doesn't step outside the box.
No.
It just stays in the box, but then gets real.
It gives you a solid
super real.
story.
Like I love Randolph Scott. Randolph Scott. But those movies there's no grit in them, even a tiny bit.
He stands up. Anybody don't want to get killed, better clear out the back. Bye.
So it's an incredibly smart movie right from the page, and again, God bless Clint for not changing a word,
and God bless David Peoples for wow.
Yeah, but
what a great story, which begs the question.
And there are Outlaw Josie Wales.
Well, yeah, Outlaw Josie Wales
has some of the same kind of things in common. I mean, so we've been talking all about kind of behind the camera stuff,
right?
Also, Clint Eastwood is the star of the film.
He is the actor.
And it is one of the great performances in a Western of all time. I mean, does anybody doubt for 1 second that he's Bill Money and that he's a gunslinger who can kill the shit out of everybody he kills at the end of that film?
Who's the fellow who owns this shithole?
Right? Nobody doubts that
for Bill Money.
1 second. And not just the fact that he can kill all those people, but the fact that he can miss those targets at the beginning of the film, that he has to deal with these children. All of those... That performance at the end by the tree when it's something killing somebody. That performance is one of the great performances of all
Westerns.
Time. Yeah, certainly of all
time.
Westerns. I mean, come on, man. Clint Eastwood is just a dude from Hollywood. He's not a cowboy. He never killed anybody. But you watch Unforgiven and you believe that the music. I mean,
the music.
The music, man. Lenny Niehaus.
Really?
Yeah,
you got me on that one. I didn't know the name. Boy, it's very sweeping and very.
He's done a lot of more recent Clint movies, but I mean, just to think that he's kind of like Mel Gibson and Braveheart. Boy, not only did you direct this amazing, whammy of a movie, you're also in it, and not you're just in it. You're not just walking through the scene like Hitchcock.
You're the film
star of that movie. Right? If he somehow sucked or played the wrong tone or anything. And yet, it's just so easy for him to do it. And
seemingly,
the really only real comparison I could make between a level of Western actor and a movie that he directed at the same time is The Alamo by John Wayne.
That's going back, man.
And I like The Alamo. It's a fun, long movie with those guys, but it's not Unforgiven, man. I mean, I tell you what, I wouldn't fight anybody too hard to say that Unforgiven is the greatest Western of all time.
If they said it was number one, you go. Yeah, you can make an argument. You wouldn't freak out.
Part of why it's maybe not the greatest Western is it doesn't quite have enough archetype type stuff. There's not a lot of stuff with horses.
It's relatively small story, isn't it?
The story is
small,
very small, and clearly
that's not a complete. It's an observation. It's just a small story.
So I mean, it's just whereas Tombstone is a sprawling movie that takes place over the course of decades almost.
Right, it's a longer period of time.
So does the Searchers. Searchers takes
it took a couple of years, but Unforgiven, less than 2 weeks?
Yeah, maybe
not even that. I mean,
2
honestly,
weeks, maybe 3. But
the longest part was him getting sick, and that was only a couple of days.
Right, that's kind of like a pause. Okay, so 5-star movie.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, right?
Yeah,
it's one of the very few.
If it's on, you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. It's just absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, thanks for checking out our episode celebrating Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. I don't know why we did it, but hey,
why not? You watched it.
Check out our other flicks below. Please like, subscribe, and share. It does help us at least have some kind of moral encouragement to keep on doing this stuff. Love each other, and until next time, prostitute with a heart of gold.
Everybody loves me because I'm great. Everything. Cool.
Huh? There's no hiss anyway.
I'll hiss on you.
I'm gonna hiss on you.
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.